My name is Rhiannon Tutty. I am the chair of the Columbia Valley Youth Soccer Association here in beautiful Invermere, British Columbia. I have been volunteering with soccer since my kids, which are graduated, my sons have graduated now, when they were little. So it's been more than 10 years since I've been holding a volunteer role of some capacity with the soccer club. I've actually been in the position of chair though for 8 years. So as a chair, usually what you do is chair meetings, but we're a small town, so when you hear the saying, it takes a village, yeah, it's these kind of villages, so we all have to band together to do all the work. So as the chair and the role that I hold and the things I do within Columbia Valley, the soccer club, we're organizing all of our teams. So we have kids participating in soccer from our little U7 Timbits, which all communities have, right through to your grade 12s. And so it's everything from handling the registrations and putting together the teams and working with the coaches and getting the equipment and then running the schedules and getting us to tournaments. So it's a soccer club. We got kids playing. When my kids were littler, I used to be really involved with PAC in the schools. Being an active member of the community is kind of how I was raised. So my mom was hugely that type of person. So as I grew up and had kids of my own, it was a natural thing for me to be part of a community because I kind of think that's just what you do, especially small town. So I used to be chair in the PAC in the schools as my kids were growing up, so I was involved in that. But as they got older and started becoming into sports, I transitioned over. So my oldest sons, Grayson and Benjamin, but Grayson especially was really into soccer. So as a mom, you get involved in what your kids get involved with. So that's how I got into the soccer, was to support my kids. And they've now graduated out, and my daughter's come into soccer. So she's U15 now. So that's how I do the soccer thing. It's just part of that. Being an active member of the community, it comes kind of naturally to me. My mom was as well. She was actually the publisher of the paper. She was involved with the Chamber of Commerce. She was always in the community doing things. She was part of our Invermere Business Committee and helping with those kind of things. So when I got older, became a grown-up, all the same, all adult up just like mom, I never questioned that it's not what you do. We're small town people. That's what we do, is we're part of things. So it was just a natural transition. Although I'm the chair, so the person that helps organize everybody, the position is organizing all of the other people in our community underneath. Because something like this tournament that's happening today, this is done by a bunch of us. It's just there needs to be that one cohesive person who helps it all. So there's a bunch of us. It's a bunch of moms. We do have some dads, but it's just one of those things. It's the powerful things that happen when a bunch of women get together. So we're all out here supporting our kids. The crazy thing right now in a post-COVID world, because like everybody else, we had to pause. Well, the kids kept growing even though we had to pause. And so what happened is a big turning of the guard, and all of my veteran volunteers graduated. Their kids are all grown up. And so I have all of these new wonderfully keen women who've stepped up, but they all don't know what they're doing because they've been 2 years of no soccer, and their kids were little and now they're bigger. So this year especially, as the chair, I've had to be just the person with the experience and the knowledge, because my kids are still here, but for me, it's my youngest child, whereas a lot of these parents, it's their oldest child. So as the chair, that's what I'm doing, is kind of being the rallying point and getting us through, because I have the experience from doing it for so long. anyways, your girls, so they did win.
Yes, we had a win, 2-0.
See? Aren't you glad you came in from the community? Like, you're one of my few volunteers that actually don't have kids yet. So how old is yours?
7.
Okay, so we get you for a long time then.
Yeah, you got me for the next 11 years.
Excellent, that's what we like.
I'll be here at 6 o'clock in the morning on our home tournament for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
Medal game, if it ends in a tie, do we go to shootout right away?
You do, shootouts right away, because
we were told during our ref meeting, no shootouts regardless of what kind of match it is.
Yeah, but my husband ran the ref meeting and not me, right? So that's why I see you've come to the right source for the answers. Yeah, no.
No. When I heard you were her husband, I knew who the boss was.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. During the tournament part, we do it completely by points. But at this one, we do it because it's a gold medal, and it has to be shootouts because we don't have time for extra time.
No. And what about the last game I just did? Because it was a Nelson game. I thought that was a third place game.
Yeah, maybe it was or whatever.
We left it as a tie.
Oh, they'll figure it out. I'm not too worried. Headquarters, it's bronze, and at this level, they're bronze. It's bragging rights as opposed to medals. We only do medals for bronze for the U12. Kind of cool actually in our area is we get a lot of stuff from BC Soccer because that's the umbrella we're under. And BC Soccer as well, I know next door, Alberta Soccer, there's this constant fight for getting more girls in soccer. We have, it's this constant battle. And the ironic thing is, here in the Columbia Valley, we don't have a problem. In fact, this year, we even put in a junior high school team, which we've never done before, and they took East Kootenays, and they could have gone to provincials. Oh wait, but there's no provincials at that level because there's not enough girls soccer. And so it's been really a cool dynamic being the club we are, surrounded by the other clubs that are struggling. So we've been really fortunate that we have just a really strong female presence here. So our club here is part of course, the whole tiering of soccer, like any sport in Canada. We're underneath BC Soccer, which is under Canada Soccer. And we're very fortunate here because all of the clubs, it's a constant theme where they're trying to help us with female athletic recruitment and keeping girls in sport. And we always are really fortunate and kind of chuckle because we don't have any problem. We have an incredibly robust female population in our club, and it's never been a concern for us. So we've been really fortunate that way. So yeah, we have. It's almost, with our club, we have kids from U7 right through to the grads. So when we're organizing that, I think we're close to 300 kids in our little valley that participate in soccer. So I did start participating and volunteering for soccer to support my own kids, and my daughter still plays. But truly, at this point, it's a love of the game, even though I've never played. It's because soccer is such an inclusive sport, and I feel that even more now, it's extra important for us to have the ability to bring the kids in. Soccer takes a pair of cleats. It's not one of those high equipment. We all can run, and we don't do cuts. We bring the whole community together. I'm pretty excited today because right now our tournament's happening, which is just a once a year fundraiser locally. So our club will travel to other tournaments. It's just this is the one we host. And the whole community's come in behind. So the soccer club, of course, does practices and games and other tournaments all season long. But right now, we're actually hosting our tournament. So it's just one large event, which I've been working on being the chair of that tournament for a number of years. What's really great is after all these years, it really feels like the first year it's come together. I was actually just talking with some of my other committee members, and I was saying how heartwarming it is driving through our community, because every sign says "Go Titans," which is our team, or says "Welcome to the tournament," and the entire community's come together. And I'm a little proud and excited about that, because I've been trying really hard. Well, for small town Canada, we're a hockey town, and to help everybody realize that, well, we have a lot of kids that are here on this soccer pitch, and they all rallied. We had people going and getting donations. We had our businesses giving prizes. They've given us equipment. They've sponsored all of our jerseys. So everything you do, that they come in behind us to help with that. It allows us to keep our fees down, which again lets us have kids on the field. So it's the best sport for bringing the whole community together, and that's where my focus is for my volunteer work. You know, I think as small town residents, there's almost a responsibility to be part of that village. So that's how I do it through the soccer, is I bring the business community in. We're all supporting the happy faces on here, all of our kids. They're able to actually do it. And we actually get to go to other towns and showcase ourselves. It's a great community sport. Professionally, I'm actually a financial coach, but I think the people who work for me, my assistants, during the spring, I'm pretty sure they think my full-time job is the soccer coordinator. All of us are volunteers, and so it's a lot of hours to make this happen. I'm actually really just grateful this year, especially after such a break, forced break, to have so many people also step in and into something new for them as volunteers. So I've been able to build this great team around me. And it's been a strange transition for me, because I used to be like the learner, but now I'm the veteran, and they're all coming to me because I'm the only one who knew how this stuff was done. And so it's been really great rallying the team around me, and it's been a successful season despite all the same hiccups everybody else has. It's funny, you realize in business that people are having shipping problems and, you know, lack of staff, but us volunteers have the same problem. We're trying to run an organization, and we're dealing with volunteer hours and shipping problems on equipment and people trying to get organized and trying to get people to rally again after having a break. So it's been a really exciting year to be a part of it, just the way it's changed. And I think this year especially is a really good start, a restart for some serious, incredible growth in our community, because it really feels this year that the whole community's rallying around this. And that's really important to me, being a part of the community and being that rallying point. I have a blended family of 4 kids, and Teslin is the youngest. So Teslin is my daughter, the only child I still have at home. The other ones have flown the nest, moved on. But Teslin's still here playing soccer. She's actually a goalie, which, let me tell you, after being in sport, or a sport parent for a long time, that soccer mom role, being a goalie parent is the most stressful place to be. It's a lot. I'm really proud of her. So it's been a really wild ride this year, not only working, like I actually have a job. It's hard to believe or remember in the spring, because I'm spending so much time on soccer, but I'm also juggling the mom role because she has extracurricular soccer with this club. She's practicing with another club. She's traveling. She's all of those things. So it's really great because we're all living that life, the volunteers for soccer, because we're all the same parents with the same kids and the traveling, and then also we have jobs, and then to choose to dedicate the time to this. Yeah, it's just, I hope all the small towns are like this, where we have just such a community building itself like that. So although I'm the chair of the soccer club, I actually have a lot of hats on, and truthfully took on probably more than I should have for mental health reasons, as most parents do. You know, it's not a unique story, being a mom that kind of maybe volunteered a little too much. And so I've been trying to hand those hats off slowly, with a slight break in our seasons that we've had lately. It's been a fun role trying to retrain all of my parents that are growing into, like, their kids are growing. It's funny, we always talk about parents graduating out, because that's what happens, is the kids get bigger and we lose our veteran volunteers, and so you have to train the new group. So right now I have the unique position of having all the knowledge and all the experience, and so I have all of this new batch of volunteers that have all of the drive, and so I'm just trying to succession plan that across. See, everybody wants a piece of me, so it's the tournament. Hold on, please. Except for I don't know where my phone went. Oh, it's my daughter. You okay? I can't, because I'm being filmed right now, babe. Well, beyond, of course, the tournament phone calls and the putting out of the fires, that was a mommy phone call of, Mom, I need more water in my water bottle, and what, Mom's busy, and that doesn't seem to necessarily be a good commute for kids, so sometimes I'm in mom mode too. So, as all moms do, I call on my other moms to help. Hi, no rush, nothing important. Thank you so much for the panic in your voice. So when you're done with your game, can you take water to my daughter on Laird, who's starting her game? Thank you. Bye. And solved, as all women can do. That was mommy power there, right there. I'm really excited about how successful the tournament's been this year, especially since we haven't had it for the past couple of years. So to have it come back together, everybody is especially excited to be back out here, and all of our visiting teams. We have like 50, 60 teams here. It's great to see everybody again. Typical of all Canadian youth sports. It's your extended family, right? It's your sports family, even when they're in other towns. So it's been really cool. And it's really a neat thing being part of community sport in a small town, because the kids that are my seniors now were the same kids I was coaching in the house league. So you get to know all these kids just beyond your own kids' friends, right? Like, we all get to know our own child's peer group, but I have this really cool position in town where lots of kids know me. So from just on the soccer pitch, I'm the soccer mom, and I'm the one to go to for all the soccer stuff. But a lot of them know me from in the school as well, because I volunteer teach financial literacy programs through all the grades. So I'm really lucky that after having grown up here, and a lot of the other moms and dads I know because we went to school together, but now it's a whole new generation that I get to know because of everything I do as part of the community. And really, that kind of thing is what makes small towns so great. So we have so much community support, not only with the tournament right now, but with our club in general. One of the incredibly useful and helpful, wonderful ways that our businesses have helped us is by sponsoring our jerseys. So we get new jerseys every 5 years for game day. And they're sponsored by our local businesses, so they get their logo on there. Most businesses, it's not about their logo, though, it's about supporting the kids. So it's just such a great thing. And what's really special to me this year is we chose to change our goalie color. We used to be lime green. And this year I made the suggestion and my board approved, so I was really excited. We've switched our jersey color to orange shirts. We've got them embroidered with Every Child Matters, and we're very fortunate to have a number of local elders and residential school survivors coming for a presentation for us tomorrow. So with all of these visiting teams, we have like 45, I think, teams coming here. We'll be able to all come together as Canadians to show our support. So that's really exciting. It's super gratifying. The weather even cooperated because there is so much effort that goes into this event. So my volunteers team, we've been putting on the club. We've been in soccer mode since the winter prepping for this season. And the hours it takes to run practices 3 times a week and all of those things, that is just the regular time that we have to put into it. But this tournament itself as a single event within our season, it was a lot of hours. Like, I've been here since 6 a.m. doing all the setup. It's now, it's now almost 6. So yeah, we're at 12 hours now, and I'm about to go watch my daughter play. And so, you know, got to fit the mommy in there too. And then we're back at it tomorrow, 6 a.m. for setup, games at 8. We have our honoring Every Child Matters ceremony happening tomorrow, and then the rest of the games, and then cleanup. So it's a big weekend, and it's just one weekend in our soccer. So we have traveling ones, and then the one that's here. So not to mention practice and everything else. Let me tell you, if you've ever been a part of organized sport, when you travel somewhere else, all you do is say thank you because you know the amount of time that those volunteers put in to put in a great experience. What do you remember from when you were a kid? Right? These are the events you remember. This is what makes being a kid a kid. Like, these are the good times, right? So I'm just really glad to be a part of that. I really like the person I am in the community. The fact that that's who people think of me as is, oh, hey, you're the soccer mom. Oh, hey, you're the money mom. Oh, hey, I remember seeing you, dance or whatever. That's just it's a good person to be. And I'm glad to be giving back because look where I live. This is a pretty good gig we got going on here. So I want to continue to be part of its success moving forward. I used to do a lot in the schools, like with PAC and that kind of thing. And as my kids got older, I've slowly transitioned. As a business owner here in the Columbia Valley, I actually transitioned from, there goes the phone again. Soccer is generally a highly regimented rule sport, but I've made the decision that this is the year of yes, let's get the kids out there. So I've been transitioning from being a parent in the school, and as my kids have gotten older, as a business owner, I've transitioned and followed in my mother's footsteps and to become an active member of our Chamber of Commerce. So currently I hold the role of vice chair. My plan is to slowly lose all my soccer hats, be in a proper chair position with soccer to make room for as I take on the role of chair over at the Chamber. I really feel that we're all part of that same ecosystem in a small town, eco being economy. So supporting our local businesses, it's incredibly important to me. So that's where I'm trying to start to shift my energy. And it's a lot of fun. We have a really great team up at our local chamber. We've done some really cool projects. We have an overall theme up at the chamber called Valley Strong, and that's really what guides everything we do. And it started during the COVID year, and we felt that we needed to come together as a community, and we did. We put together a really cool video, and it involved all the business owners, and we had a unique song, and to just be part of that team. That was just an amazing event and an experience, and it's just been part of our culture here now. I'm so proud to have been part of that. So as we were all shutting down in 2020, and all of the tourist towns were kind of trying to find their way through that. I had an idea that maybe we could not take the hard road, these are the rules kind of road, because that was happening a lot of places. And I went, well, what if we did it the other way? What if we celebrated what we are? And that was the starting point of it. And I'm so blessed the group we had, because I came with this idea to a chamber meeting and partnered with like-minded people. And one of our chamber team members, staff up there, Patrick, he was like, oh, here, let me just build a song, a unique song. So what started as just a vague idea grew into such an amazing movement and event. So we had an incredible week of trying to film everybody. We had an organized dance that I had to teach everybody. It's really funny because when we were filming it, so I always say I was production, because somebody else had the skills. I wasn't filming it. I certainly wasn't the music, but I was the one directing and I was doing the production part of it. And I actually had emergency surgery right before. And so we're out there filming and nobody knows that I'm trying really careful to not move too much as I'm directing all the people. I brought my daughter Teslyn with me. She did the heavy lifting. And when you watch the video, if you know what you're watching for, you can see my daughter and I filling spots to help it work. And then during one of the groups, so it makes me laugh, right? You always are your worst critic. But during one of the segments in it, you can see me directing all the people, telling them what to do, what we thought was off camera, but it's not. So that Valley Strong video ended up being just the catalyst for just an idea for the way we feel in our community. We are Valley Strong. We are all part of that same ecosystem, the economy system. We all have to work together, and it's really important to me. When I became a financial coach, a financial advisor, it was really important to me to get to the kids. And the reason why is very, very quickly, when I started working with clients, I saw the same thing over and over again. I'd have clients come in their 40s after having been a little bit dumb with money in their 20s and dug their way out of it in their 30s, and finally they're 40 and able to maybe start to thrive a bit after surviving. And I went, yeah, this cycle needs to stop. So very quickly, I switched my focus, and I've been teaching, volunteering in the schools to teach the financial literacy program since I started. So it's been 8 years now working in there, doing that. And it's funny, I actually have one kid, and I'll never forget it. He's like, so you're like kind of like the money mom. And so he's still, I knew him when he was younger. And now he's all grown up, and he's always like, hey, mommy mom. And it makes me laugh. So it's kind of cool to be making that kind of an impact. So when I started choosing to volunteer in the schools, I was kind of winging it, just coming up with my own idea, just that basic financial literacy. But then somebody connected me with Junior Achievers of British Columbia, so I'm one of their volunteers now, and so I run their programs. We run programs anywhere from like little kids, like grade 3s, learning about Sir Spends-A-Lot and Little Susie Saver, right through to the grads, like all the ages. I run a lot of their programs, and I also expand on them as well, because that is where my knowledge base, that's my wheelhouse. And so I'm a talker, so expanding it makes sense for me. So what usually, when I have a class invite me in, it generally is 4 hours. So depending on the classroom setting, maybe it's once a week for an hour, like I'll see you every Tuesday this month. Or else it's like at the high school especially, because you're going to chase a class, so it might be that whole week that I have their block every week. So most classes I kind of run into like kind of for 4 hours, and we go right through the whole financial literacy. And it's the basic stuff that we really should know, and nobody, even adults, don't know, because every single time I have a class and I have, teachers in the room and TAs in the room and, maybe parent volunteers in the room, there is always at some point that week that the adult in the room goes, oh, I never knew that. So it's really gratifying to be able to do that and stop some of the cycle. A number of years ago, the government kicked out a statistic that has Canadians are considered less than 20% financially literate, right? Like our level of financial literacy is less than 20%. And when I saw that statistic, it gets super upsetting, because if you took out the word financial, if our literacy level was that low, that would be a national crisis. And yet somehow we let everybody flounder when it comes to money. So that's where my passion in trying to give that knowledge to the kids. And it works, because I always, especially when I work with the little kids, I'll be in the grocery store, doing my mommy thing, and I'll inevitably run into another mom of one of the little kids, and they're like, oh my gosh, you were in my kids' class last week, and we were here last week shopping, and I pulled out my credit card, and my child lost their mind on me. And so, they do pick up things. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Spending this kind of time in the schools, what I really hope happens is that just one or two kids get it, because the small choices you make in your early years are what really leads to success. And so I'm not looking to change the world. It's just a couple kids to get it would be great. It's more to, if I could stop them taking that other pathway, that would be, that's good enough for me. But to have a couple kids choose to take a thriving pathway, and I've been doing this for long enough that it's starting to be kind of cool when they're graduating and they're coming back from the summer for university, and they're remembering, and they'll come into my actual office and to, hey, I remember you saying that when you were in my classroom, and that's just a really cool thing to be a part of. Everyone, holy, look at us all. I'm Rhiannon Tutty. I'm the chair of the soccer club, and I really appreciate you coming here today. I had an idea, and I brought it to our board, and they totally approved it. And what we've done, if I could get my goalies, where are all my goalies? I know you're in the crowd. We can see you. This year was our year of just changing jerseys. We get new jerseys that the community sponsors. And while we were getting our new jerseys, I had an idea. And in soccer, for any visitors we have, goalies never wear the same color as the rest of our team. And I took that opportunity, and our board went, yeah, that's what we're doing, because that's the community we are. And we switched our jersey color to our orange shirts. We chose to get, just get a little turn, an emblem to support our Indigenous community. And so thank you very much for all coming here and sharing this moment with us. I'd like to introduce Chief Barb Cote of the Shuswap Band.
Thanks, Jana. Well, it's an honor to be here, and I was here yesterday watching some of the soccer, and it's really wonderful to see us all be able to get together and enjoy sports, and having children doing healthy things, so I really enjoyed that. I'm really honored here today to be asked to welcome you to the traditional unceded territory of the Danaha and Sequemic people, and chosen home of the Métis. I also just think it's wonderful that Rhiannon and her company and have introduced the orange shirts to wear this year in honor of the residential school, you know, the 215 children that were discovered, and many, many more schools across the country, the residential schools. So, you know, it's sad, but it's really good that this has come to light, and we can now deal with this.
Just to add, I don't need a microphone for those of you who know me. In case you haven't been paying attention to the news, we are at the 1 year of the starting, so the timing really worked out well.
Yeah, thanks. Just a little bit about the Orange Shirt Day and how it came to be, if you don't know. So it started in Williams Lake, and there was a little girl, Phyllis Webstad, and her mom got her a brand new outfit to go to school. And you know that they went away for the whole year, and they didn't really have a choice. The children were taken away from their parents. And so her mom dressed her up in her best clothes, and it was an orange shirt. And when she got to the residential school, that was taken away. So she never got to wear that orange shirt again. And by the time that it was time to go home in June, well, of course, the clothes don't fit. And that happened actually to my mom as well. And so all those new outfits that we get to wear on the first day of school, we never ever did get to, they didn't get to wear them home because they were too small. I don't want to leave it on a really sad note. I also want to thank Duncan Widdick and Jenna Jasic. They actually got the flags going that we've been flying, Every Child Matters flag. So a huge thank you to them as well for bringing that up. This has been a wonderful event. I'm really looking forward to today. Enjoyed yesterday. It was a little hot for the players, but I think today's good for anybody running around. For those of us sitting, it'll be a little chilly, but hopefully it'll get nicer. Thank you again to all the coaches that have taken the time to look after all our youth, doing, you know, special, wonderful, healthy things. Parents, you're amazing, you know, to be doing all this traveling. I don't know where you're all staying, but and where you're eating, but hopefully that's all going well for you. And the volunteers. I know there's many volunteers that are doing their work here too. So thank you. Really good to be back together and having fun. And we haven't done that for so long. I wish for each and every one of you that are traveling home today that it's a safe trip. And again, have a great day. Cook's Jam.
In addition, we're really blessed that we have both Laverna and Basil Stevens here. They are actually residential school survivors as well, and it just was their 50th anniversary. So.
Can we use that one there?
Yeah, we can. We could.
Good morning, and I'm glad to be here today in honor of the orange shirts. I am a survivor, and you know, when you're living your life and you think that you're doing all right, and all the stories and all the, I don't want to say horror, but it was for me to experience at age 5 and up, to come to light with them revealing all those little bodies, and it becomes, I and my hubby sat on the deck and we were thinking, oh my God, you know, now what? What's going to happen? Because, you know, the nuns and the priests, there was always repercussions against the children. So, you know, it's kind of almost scary. But I'm an adult now, and like we did celebrate our 50th, and we have become strong in our marriage to bring up the kids with pride and kind of a fighting spirit, I guess. So, you know, thank you for honoring this. You know, we thought it was a really great idea for it to come out. And there's so many of you here from different areas, Alberta.
Yeah, BC, Alberta.
Yeah, BC, Alberta. And thank you for doing that. You know, it's not for us, but for those children. You know, I can't say any more except for thank you. You know, I could tell you about my experiences, but that would, you know, let's leave that behind for a little while, you know, until we get stronger. All right. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Yes, I am an elder of the Shoe Shop Reserve here. We talk a lot every night. We sit out on the deck. We have tea, and we always talk about day's events or what happened during the day or what we can do tomorrow, stuff like that. I don't think we miss very much of those days outside, except when it's really cold in winter. Then we don't go outside and have tea. We have tea inside, but we still sit down and talk. I think maybe that's to get a little off the point there. I think that's one of the reasons why we're married for 50 years is we do that. We sit down and we talk about the day, about anything. But in the last year, topic usually comes around to you know, the surviving. To call us survivors, it's, you know, we always think of the ones that didn't survive. It's very you know, tugs at your heart. I personally haven't known anyone that didn't make it home. The ones that usually didn't make it home were before us, before our time. But the other things that we talk about is the ones of us that are still alive. There's getting fewer and fewer. So the ones that are alive, when we hear the news, any news, like it's usually good or bad, you know, we take it sometimes with just a grain of salt or sometimes with a big smile. But I like to talk about the honoring of the orange shirts. It's a good thing. I mean, that's makes us smile. You know, there's more than us that are honoring. You know, the ones that ours have survived. I just have to say that you know the children today. Please, you know, help them. If they have any dreams, try to help them fulfill a dream. If it's soccer, well, you know, help them. Baseball, musician, you know, please help them. It doesn't matter if they're native, non-native. Just remember, every child matters.
It's really great having this tournament be such a good success. We've had a lot of people that have visited, and we do a lot of tournaments. So when you come to one that's really well organized, it's gratifying that all of our efforts came together. But this is really just the visual showcase of all the effort of volunteering. The soccer club in general takes many, many hours behind the scenes. We start rallying together as volunteers in January and February, get the kids on the field starting in April. The younger kids join in May once the Canadian sun starts to come out and we have enough time on the fields. So between booking fields and organizing equipment and building teams and getting volunteer coaches and volunteer managers and the parents that help out, today's a really great celebration for us all because it's like a project, a one-time event, but really a successful season started quite a few months ago and we still got a couple more months to go. So it's a lot, but look at it, it's a great thing. It ends up being this really great community event. So we have about 45 teams that are visiting here from BC and Alberta, so Western Canada here, coming into our community. Of these teams, 11 of them are actually our local kids we've brought together, which is really exciting. And yeah, they're here to play, and we had good weather and everything's been really successful for them. So It's really exciting to be back on the pitch with all the kids. And it's great to have this moment of success because it took a lot of hours behind the scenes to get to this place. I got involved with the soccer club actually just as in support of my children, which is the case with most of us. In fact, my eldest son ended up scholarshiping with soccer, so you know we took him all the way through, so that was a really cool thing. But now I stay involved because it's now my daughter, and it's changed that dynamic. I did start as a volunteer because that's how I was raised by my mom. My mom, she did a lot of community volunteering, not in the sports as much, but that's because I wasn't sporty. But she volunteered in the community, and then I now volunteer, and that's just what my children know. And in fact, my daughter now volunteers, so she goes to practice, and then afterwards she then coaches littler kids. So I think probably for her, it's just a natural progression. That's what we do. We're an active member of our community. So when I step back as a mom, that's kind of a cool thing to be part of, and that's a good characteristic that I've been able to parent into her, so that's great. We had a time, as everyone else did, back in 2020, where we were all as a community starting to feel very disjointed. And it was, I was very passionate about us needing to have something to rally together, to bring the community together. And that's where the Valley Strong idea for me came from, was can't we do a forward together activity? And we came up with the video. I started with this little idea, but it clearly resonated with the community because everybody jumped on, and we built such an amazing project, and it has such long-term lasting goodness to it. Valley Strong continues. It carries us through Christmas season, and we do other projects, and we had a sign war, and we're even here at the soccer tournament, I still see that Valley Strong element. That's who we are defining our community as, is we're a community that lifts each other, that supports each other, that shows up for each other. And that's why we all live in our small towns, is to be a part of that kind of a culture. So right now I'm very active with soccer, but it's been a real transition year. I'm thrilled to have such a great group of supportive people around me and other volunteers as I need to transition out of soccer in the coming years as my child transitions out of soccer. But we have such a great group for Foundation to continue keeping the tradition. I've been in the Columbia Valley. I moved here when I was a kid, back in the 90s, early 90s, and it just is going to keep going through the next generation, keep playing the soccer. So I have faith that we have new people stepping into that role. And I'm going to be moving to the next phase and transitioning more into other community events as my kids grow. So I've been absolutely blessed to be part of this community, actively involved with it, and in a small way helping to shape how it's moving forward. And I am so excited about what the tomorrows are going to bring, because look where I live. We've built an amazing place to be, and it's going to continue to be that way. So I'm excited. I'm excited about where we're going to go. Thanks for watching, and come and see us out here in the Columbia Valley.